Welcome back, YouTube. We are here with another Market Watch video. I want to look back and see what happened to Tesla this week since we had it on our watch list from last weekend. And also I want to look through and see what stocks may be tradable this week. All right, thanks for stopping by, you guys. Let's go ahead and dive in. Okay guys, here we are at Tesla. I wanted to take a quick look at Tesla on the chart and see what it did this week compared to what we saw previously and that we had outlined last weekend when we had a look at it. Now, as you can see, there are the three blocks that we had outlined for consolidation levels, and then we drew this trend line here, which trended upwards, but it continued to pull back and touch that line several times. What we had this week, and I'll zoom in just a little bit so we can get a clearer picture, we had one pullback early Monday. I don't remember exactly what time it was, but as you can see, we definitely closed up here, and we weren't able to get any more pullback unless you jumped in and you grabbed it around 715 or the 710 level. We were looking for it to come back down a little bit closer, but again, that was only a $5 move. Hopefully, if you were looking at Tesla for a swing trade this week, you were able to get in when it was at that level, because honestly, it didn't really have a lot of action the rest of the week. As you can see here on Tuesday, it was around 735 to 755, and we really only had a closure of about a $20 movement all week long. We did get up to the 760 level, which was a really good level last week on the 9th and the 10th, where you can see it actually respected right around that price range for several days actually. If you look here where these candles closed, and actually the wick got around that level. You know, a $5 area of movement is really a tight range for Tesla, obviously, since it's such a large dollar stock. And even last Friday, you can see that was the open and the close was just very small. So Tesla really didn't have a lot of movement as far as volatility up and down, but they did continue to trend upwards, which is what we want to see. Now, I want to go ahead and finish up and just let you see the levels that we are aiming for again. The first level we're looking to move up towards is the 780, 58, 775. So we're right now we're looking at this candle and this candle. So between 770 and 780 would be a good level that I would keep my eye on. But at the same time, we want to see it hit that, and then what's going to happen once it does hit that level. That's what I'm more concerned with. Is it going to go up here and then bounce and reject and then continue to move down, or is it going to rip through that and then we have a really big gap up to the next mark, which is around 880? So, again, Tesla is really one of those stocks that you just have to be careful with. You have to understand that at any moment you could have this upward trend, and then the next day you get this movement right here, which squeezes you back down a good $25. So that's why I kind of wanted to have this trend line and to let everybody know that it may have been worthwhile to wait for a pullback before going long. And if you were able to get in around here, 715, 720 Monday, and then just let it ride the rest of the week, you could have gotten a good $40 profit out of Tesla last week. So it did make for a good swing trade, not really a momentous, I'm going to go buy Lambo swing trade, but it did make some good moves. And it didn't take any of your money. That was the big thing. So let's keep an eye on Tesla for the rest of this week. Let's see what happens if it does get to 780. And from then, you can start watching for a possible short off of that level, or maybe some of the shorts will start covering, and then you're going to see more momentum upwards. Okay guys, the stock of the week to watch for me is going to be MRNA. We mentioned this one also last week in the weekly review and what to look for, mostly because of the FDA news, which was supposed to come out on Friday regarding the booster shots. Now, as you can see from the related stocks up here in this top corner, all of the stocks on Friday, which are in this sector, all closed in the red, which means they were all a little bit cautious, and the investors were also cautious regarding the news, because the FDA said that, actually, let's read word for word what we have here in quotes. In a note on Friday, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Rafat argues that panelists are already leaning against boosters, and that the federal agency does not sound convinced by balance of evidence to date. So that basically means they're not too convinced with the data that they have that the boosters should be recommended by the FDA. Now, does that mean it's going to stay that way? No. Does it mean it could obviously change next week or with any kind of news or anything like that? Of course. But the reality is this did pull everybody down a few points. And the big two that we were watching was BNTX and Pfizer. And as you can see here, Pfizer moved lower, and also BNTX moved lower about $10. So that was a pretty big move. Moderna, on the other hand, we're going to jump on them and have a look at their level. That way we can see what we can try to expect and kind of predict where they may move. So let's look at the chart real quick. Okay, here's Moderna's chart. This is the daily, and as you can see, they have made a lot of movement. Previously in August, they ran all the way up to 500. That was a really great move. If you could have called them off 500 to the move back down. They made a lot of people money in these 2 days. I remember watching that pop that morning. It just blew my mind when it ran up. But as you can see, it's gone sideways since then. It's basically been trading in this volume channel right here. And then we did have the movement out of this channel. And as you can see, once it did, let me go ahead and put my marker on there. Once it did move out of this level here, we had some movement upwards. And let's clear off the screen, which was right around the 436 level. It pulled back and then moved above that level. And again, well, this was the level that we wanted to see right here, not the 436. So this is the level that it broke through once it got out of this value channel, and it moved on north here, and it moved up to around 428, and eventually it got around 470. I think it was last Friday. Before last week it kind of consolidated. Now the big thing to notice is this red candle on Friday. That's where you can see they stayed in a really tight price range for the day. It was only about, let's see, they closed at 429. So it was really about, what is that, an $11 swing for Moderna, which is kind of low for them. They're used to, obviously we see that they're used to running up. So what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on this level here. It's really hard to see Moderna making a really big move south off of this news, but I could see them moving back down to this 411 to 410 level. Again, there's always the possibility of FDA news coming out or some other kind of COVID news releasing, which could obviously run this one back up. So the big levels that you always want to have in the back of your mind here with Moderna are going to be 464. And once you get past that again, then you're starting to look at 500 again. And the low level that we're going to keep our eye on is going to be right around this area, which is 362. Now that 362 level is a really big drop from where we're at right now. I would hope that it didn't move that much in one day from 429 to 362, but anything is possible with this stock. If anything, I would say that there's a possibility it may move down around 400 and then test that level. Personally, I'm going to keep my eye open for a possible short Monday on Moderna. I'm not going to swing trade it, but I would be interested to see if it continues to pull back any more than it did give back on Friday. So right now we are in a new channel here, and I'm going to move this level down, and as you can see, the 413, if it moves past that, then I'm going to be looking forward to move on down to 400. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got a little bit of information out of it. Next weekend, we'll go over Moderna and Tesla and see what they did and see if they kind of stuck to what we thought they were going to do or did something completely different. All right, guys, have a good trading week, and I'll see you next time.